Now that we know Golden Week is GT themed, and the Part 1 units were indeed GT Goku, GT Vegeta, sorry, and GT Goku, and how they low-key introduced a GT Bosses category, to me it only makes sense that the Part 2 LR is going to be GT themed. And I think there's only 3 possibilities. A Sin, not Omega, but a Sin Shenron, a Transforming Baby, or a Super 17. Now, I want to be extremely specific with my ideas here. As you guys know, I like to build my units, basically. So, I cannot fit all 3 units into one specific video. So, this is going to be part 1 of a trilogy. And part 1 will be focusing on Baby, transforming, specifically, Baby Vegeta. Guys, before we hop in, make sure to subscribe. Long term, we are headed towards the 10K goal. Only you guys can make it possible. Let's hop straight into today's video, part 1 of the trilogy series, as to who I think could be the LR for part 2 of this Golden Week celebration. So, like I said, Baby, just Baby youth form, but again, who transforms over time. Now, let's hop straight into my idea. So, here we go. I want him to lead GT Bosses and Corroded Body in mind, because let's be honest, Tech Janemba is not enough. Ki +4 and 177% across the board. I know what you guys are thinking, that's way too strong. Keep in mind that Reps of Universe 7 legitimately has 177% across the board, and they have top tier, literally the best units in the game there. GT Bosses is not that category, dude. GT Bosses is not that category, and Corroded Body in mind, also not that category. So I think it's very fitting for these units to have 177% across the board with Ki 4. Let me know what you guys think about that. Super attack, he massively stacks defense, which I understand seems OP, but I made it this way for a purpose. Just stay tuned, okay? Causes immense damage to enemy, my bad. And raises all allies Ki +1. So I tried something new here. There's been no unit in the game to raise Ki on super attack for all allies. I made this baby do that. I want him to be support, but I didn't want to give any support from his passive, so that's why I did that. So he gets attack plus 130% at the start of turn, no defense, which is again why he massively stacks defense here. If he starts off with 30k defense, the next turn he'll have 60k. If he starts off with 60k, the next turn he'll have 120k. So again, he may not have any defense from his passive, but he's massively stacking here, so keep that in mind. He gets Ki +1 and reduces damage received by 30% with each existing Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyan category enemies. So, if you're in SBR, Extreme SBR, you have 5 enemies who are all Saiyans of some sort, right? Because there's like no quarter Saiyans category or anything like that, right? If you are facing a Pure Hybrid Saiyan, 5 of them, you're going to get 5 Ki and 150% damage reduction, right? So this guy is low-key, and I want him to be tech, my bad. I also want him to be tech, not intelligence, I want him to be tech. He is not going to take damage, right, in SBR or Extreme SBR, when he's facing these enemies, which is why I made him the way he is, right? Attack plus 30% and guards against all attacks when facing an enemy whose name includes Goku or Vegeta, transforms immediately to Super Baby 1 when this unit receives 2 attacks. So, receiving 2 attacks could take a few turns, right? Because sometimes an enemy won't attack in a specific slot. But the way I countered this was transforms immediately. So if he takes two attacks immediately in turn 1, or let's say in slot 1, the rotation will stop playing and he'll transform legitimately immediately, right? So let's say this guy takes 3 attacks, right? Let's say he takes 3 attacks. He will take the first 2 attacks immediately, he'll transform, and then he'll take the next attack from the enemy in the Super Baby 1 state, if that makes sense, right? So let me know what you guys think about basically base form, just youth baby right here. He is very, very strong, does not take damage in SBR, but remember that if you're facing like one enemy or something, this is not going to be that great of an effect, and he could still definitely take damage, right? But again, every unit has a weakness of some sort. Let's move to my Super Baby 1 idea. Remember, he's going to be tech, but there was no tech baby, so I had to use the AGL format. You guys get my point. Anyways, so for his super attack now, he greatly stacks defense. Not as strong. I'm not going to keep it massive for that long. Let's relax, okay? Causes immense damage to enemy and raises all allies Ki +2. Okay, so all allies get Ki +2 when this guy super attacks. If he gets additional, it's Ki +4 for all allies. It's very, very powerful, okay? Passive skill, Ki +2 and attack plus 160%. Reduces damage received by 40% with each existing Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans category enemy. Now keep in mind that he does not get Ki now, but he does get Ki at the start of turn. So hopefully that balances out, right? 40% damage reduction. with each existing pure hybrid Saiyan is very, very powerful. Again, SBR, Extreme SBR, he legitimately will not take damage. He just will not, right? Attack plus 40% and guards against all attacks when facing an enemy whose name includes Goku or Vegeta. Transforms immediately to Super Baby 2. I meant to say 2 there. When this unit receives 2 attacks. So again, if this unit, let's say Baby, in slot 1, okay, receives 4 attacks in slot 1. After the first two, he'll transform immediately, not next turn, to Super Baby 1. After the next 2 attacks he's going to receive, he'll transform immediately to Super Baby 2. So you could see him go from Baby to Super Baby 2 in legitimately 1 turn, okay? Keep that in mind. This is not going to be as bad as you guys are thinking, right? Transforming immediately changes the game, alright? So keep that in mind. But this guy is very, very strong. Let me know what you think about Super Baby 1, and let's go over to Super Baby 2, who does have a Golden Great Ape active skill. So, Super Baby 2. He greatly raises defense still, causes immense damage to enemy, and raises all allies ki plus 2 and attack and defense plus 20%. So he legitimately has a full a full leader skill from his super attack while greatly stacking. Okay, so this is very, very strong, and it's even more so because of his new passive. Let's read into it. So he gets ki 3 and attack plus 200%. Reduces damage received by 50%. Immediately, I know for a fact this guy was going to remind you of someone. Probably this unit. Sorry. This unit right here, right? He gets ki 3, attack plus 220%, and reduces damage received by 50%. But the difference between this guy, okay, before you start making comparisons, and this guy, is he's already been stacking his defense for probably 4 or 5 turns, depending on how many times you get attacked, right? He's been stacking his defense, and he continues to greatly stack his defense by 50%, which is huge, right? So this guy does not do so. He does raise his defense for 3 turns, but it's not the same as stacking infinitely, right? And also, Vegeta has the ability to guard against all attacks. So this is, again, it's different. This guy is on a completely different league than this Boo right here. But anyways, let's continue moving on here. So guards against all attacks and high chance to crit when facing a pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans category enemy. That is huge, right? Attack and defense plus 50% when facing a superclass enemy, which again in SPR you're gonna get that. Plus an additional attack plus 50% and performs additional super attack when facing a GT Heroes category enemy. So this guy, as you guys can probably tell, is built for SPR, but is also tailor-made, okay? Tailor-made for the new GT Legendary Goku event. Why do I say that? The new Legendary Goku event, right? The GT Goku, he's on Pure Saiyans, so he activates that. He's a superclass enemy, so he activates that. And he's on GT Heroes, so he activates that as well. So when you bring this guy into the new GT, Legendary Goku event, things start to get a little bit crazy. He's going to have 300% attack, 200% here, 50% here, and 50% there. So 300% attack, okay? He's going to have 50% defense, okay? He's going to have 50% damage reduction. He's going to guard against all attacks. He's going to have a high chance to crit, okay? And he's also going to perform an additional super attack. Each super attack he does, he gets ki plus 2 and 20% attack and defense. So 2 super attacks, that means he's giving all allies ki plus 4 and 40% attack and defense while he's doing all of this. This guy in that stage becomes legitimately one of the best units in the game, because he's not taking damage and he's making sure everyone on rotation is eating good as well, right? So let's say you have this guy, this is why I had him pulled up, on rotation. They're going to be sharing things like Thirst for Conquest, they're going to be sharing Metamorphosis probably, Big Bad Bosses, they're going to be sharing GT, Hatred of Saiyans, Legendary Power. These guys are going to link up beautifully together. Not only that, when you have this guy in slot 1, which even though he does not have defense at the start of turn, he is a slot 1 unit. Maybe not like like immediately when he first appears, but he is a slot 1 unit simply because of his damage reduction and his guarding when he's facing half of the game, okay? And then even when he's not getting this off, he's still going to be massively stacking his defense, so he's not taking damage regardless, or greatly, sorry, but he's not taking damage regardless especially after a few attacks. And again, in this state, when you're facing a superclass enemy, which is, again, probably more than half the game, you're going to be getting an extra 50% defense. So 50% defense with greatly, it becomes very dumb in a good way, very, very fast. But anyways, he's giving this guy 4 ki and 40% attack and defense, right, if he gets that additional off, which it's guaranteed if you're facing a GT Heroes category ally or enemy, right? So it's going to become very, very, very dumb, and these two on a these two on a suit like on rotation becomes a devastating rotation. He also has an active skill, a grade 8 active skill. So what it does is give him 6 ki, attack plus 100%. That is, this right here is scary, okay? Think about it. Tech LR Broly gets 48%, I think it's 48% attack on an active skill, and I've gotten him up to like 14 mil attack stat, 55%, of course with orbs and stuff like that, right? Of course, but 48% attack, and Broly just is one of the hardest hitting units in the game to this day, right? This guy gets 100%, more than double that. And nullifies all damage for 1 turn. As you guys know, grade 8 transformations and stuff do nullify all damage, so that's nothing new. Becomes available for 1 turn, but becomes available after this unit receives 2 attacks. So for 2 attacks, after this unit receives 2 attacks, an active skill appears, you can use it. He gains 6 ki, 100% attack buff, and nullifies all damage for 1 turn. This is not like a rage mechanic where every unit on the rotation is just this golden graded baby Vegeta. It's just him, right? So it's just 1 unit. So you want to make sure this guy, you want to make sure that an SBR, because an SBR, dude, the last stage of SBR, you can easily see this. Easily. I think, honestly, all right? I have seen, in SBR specifically, in SBR, I have seen it, right? And again, this is after, this is not immediately, but it's after he receives it, so it's the next turn, okay? But I've seen it, where enemies will attack 6 times in slot 1. So 6 times, the first 2 he transforms to Super Baby 1, the next 2 he transforms to Super Baby 2, and the next 2 he active skill will become available next turn, which means in 3 turns you can have this active skill. Which again, it's you need the enemy to attack a lot. You need a lot of RNG, but it's possible, and that's the big thing. Sometimes when it comes to active skill, some units just don't have achievable active skills and transformations in certain events, right? But I made it so that you can see this in SBR and in Extreme SBR, especially with those certain bosses at the end, like Vegito and Gogeta, who have like 80 billion million health. So keep that in mind. Let me know what you guys think about this idea. I do think he is definitely one of the strongest units in the game, but it just depends on who you're really facing, right? Now, another really interesting thing to, kind of discover here when you look at the GT bosses side of things, and I think I mentioned this earlier in the video as well, there is legitimately 0 representation for Baby Vegeta, but just base form Baby Vegeta. Like when Baby first took over Vegeta was in base form while Baby had it controlled, right? So there's Baby here, and then it immediately jumps to, let me see, it's just Super, so this is Super Saiyan Baby, basically, right? This is Vegeta after he goes Super Saiyan with Baby controlling it. But there is no base form Baby Vegeta, and that bothered me. So even though there's a very slim chance of this happening, I introduced a new character that could probably be coming alongside this guy. And again, it's an LR banner, so I highly doubt this is going to be possible, but you know what? It's fun. It's really fun to, to create ideas and to see it. Honestly, look, again, I doubt it's going to happen, probably won't happen, but again, it's fun to make ideas. So this is my idea for a GT Baby Vegeta. Now, I understand that this guy is legitimately in this, he's literally just Vegeta from GT, but bear with me. Let's just pretend, use that imagination of yours, and give him the red marks on his face, okay? And just pretend that he's the base form GT of Vegeta, Baby Vegeta, okay? So I gave him Corroded Body and Mind category, Ki +3, and HP attack and defense was 120%, because again, Janemba is not enough. Now, I do think that him bleeding Corroded Body and Mind is very good because, he's going to be on this category, of course, but also, this new baby is also going to be leading Corroded Body and Mind. So Corroded Body and Mind gets 2 new leaders, or it gets massively buffed, is all I'm about to say. Corroded Body and Mind gets massively buffed with these 2 new units dropping, right? He does stack attack and defense just normally, though, cause immense damage to enemy, and greatly lowers attack and defense, so probably, this is actually really, really solid, right? He gets attack and defense plus 90% at the start of turn, Ki +1 and attack and defense plus 90% when performing a super attack, which is very powerful. Recovers HP by 30% at the end of the turn when this character receives 2 or more attacks. Now, I want to explain this really quick, right? So I kept the same theme of this Baby Vegeta, where a lot of his things activate when he gets 2 or more attacks, and basically same thing here. Now, 2 or more attacks I think happens a lot more in slot 1 than it does in slot 2. So I had to make this guy in some fashion a slot 1 unit, which he's not primarily, because again, this buff right here is this is a massive buff, right, on super attack, which means that after on super attack, his defense is going to shoot up like crazy, right, which means he's going to be better in slot 2 than he is in slot 1. However, again, he does stack attack and defense, so it'll probably get to a point where you can, you know, throw this guy in slot 1 and have him, you know, take double digits from the first few attacks, right? But if he takes at least 2 attacks, by the end of the turn, you're going to be literally recovering 30% HP, which is a lot of HP. This guy should also have Metamorphosis. What does Metamorphosis do at Link level 10? Recovers 5% HP. So it's basically, if he has you know, that Link active, it's going to be 35% HP. 5% at the start of turn and 30% at the end of turn. So that's, to me, that's a lot of healing going on. Let me know what you guys think about that. And then he leads Corroded Body and Mind category key +3 and 30% attack and defense. Again, Corroded Body and Mind. Let me actually pull up this category really quick because, again, Baby is on it. Corroded Body and Mind, basically, think of anyone who possesses anyone, right? That's basically Corroded Body and Mind. So let me take a look at this category really quickly. It's not a good category, man. It's really not the greatest category, but I will say it's definitely runnable. Now that the same name update is out on JP and soon to be coming out on Global, this is actually a runnable category. A lot of the Goku Blacks on one rotation. Okay, if you have Goku Black, okay, listen to this. If you have Goku Black, right, on one rotation, so you have this Goku Black and any other Goku Black you want on one rotation, okay, and then you have the new Vegeta, right, the new baby, alongside this guy on the same rotation, right, and then you have this guy floating around, giving that whole while he's stacking. So he's gonna be actually good. He's actually gonna be better in the third slot than he is in the first slot. So if he's in the last slot, he's gonna be stacking attack and defense, making sure he's not hit as much. He's not making sure he's gonna be, you know, he's gonna take less damage. He's gonna be lowering their attack to make sure that he's again gonna be taking less damage. He's gonna be raising his attack and defense by 90% on super, and then he's gonna be giving the whole category key +3 and 30% attack and defense. Corroded Body and Mind automatically just becomes a more cohesive team, right? And again, when it comes to these ideas that I want to be pushing out, my goal is to make sure that these units, that these just underrepresented categories, these trash categories, start getting a lot of love in the game. And that's really what I'm just trying to get at, right? Introducing new units that are going to buff the heck out of these weaker categories, especially by giving units who support like this, right? 30% is good. It could have been 40%, but I think 30% is fine. And again, since he's stacking, I think this guy, to me, this guy is very, very, very powerful, right? Especially as like a banner unit. Probably not better than units like the new Goten and Trunks that dropped with Vegeta, but I still think he's still very, very solid. And again, this category does become a lot more runnable. You can even run the new Janemba, right? The new Janemba with any of these Janembas, right? Probably this intelligence one. And this support right here is going to make sure that Janemba actually gets his freaking super attack off, which could be really, really annoying at times. And then if you actually get enough orbs with Janemba, you could also be supporting the whole rotation as well, making this guy stronger, himself stronger, and any Janemba you have alongside him stronger. So let me know what you guys think. This is part 1 of a possible trilogy that I will be doing. I do think Baby is definitely a good choice for, you know, a part 2 LR for Golden Week. I do think, I mean, he's obviously going to lead GT bosses, but I do think a secondary category could be Corroded Body and Mind. To me, that's just what needs to happen, right? And again, maybe Baby is not the most deserving, you know, of these units, but I do think that honestly, he needs it more. Like, I mean, Omega Sin needs it, right? Sin Shenron needs it, and then obviously Super 17 has no LR in the game. So honestly, thinking about that, Super 17 will probably get an LR, but we'll see. I don't know who I'm gonna do for part 2 just yet. Maybe Sin, maybe Super 17. You guys can let me know what you guys want in the comment section below. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, hit a like button, subscribe if you are new. Stay tuned for part 2 of this trilogy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.